This computer. Yes, it is. And let me make this so that I can stay the way it is. Video is there. Okay.
Should be good. We're recording. They're all on mute there.
Can
Yeah.
everyone hear us? Hello?
You guys hear us okay?
Yep.
Is Kevin Egan on too?
Yes, you sound good. I can hear you as well.
Oh,
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
you too.
Thank you.
I know Kevin's time is a little limited, so we'll get started. We'll let Annabelle run our meetings, so we'll let her,
So I came ill prepared tonight, but we are, this is our second meeting where we get to announce that a large portion of the town of Duanesburg is now served. And I ran the numbers this evening. We have remaining unserved 58 plus or minus homes. And so we're getting there. It's time to finish the job. And so maybe Roger and John can talk about how we're going to do that.
as of right now, we have the project out there, the Alexander Road, Suits Road project. We're just, Spectrum gave us the contract and agreement. We have to always turn those over to our lawyers. You know, lawyers don't like what other lawyers do, so we're picking it apart like our office usually does. So I made us pretty much a guarantee by the next board meeting in December. We'll be able to sign, we'll have an agreement with Spectrum that will be authorized for me to sign to get those projects done. That's the next biggest one to do. That money, we're gonna use the free money, the ARPA money that we got again from the government. So that would leave the money that we have from the county alone for now to start looking at other projects. We invited Mr. Egan from Spectrum. He's on board with us today on Zoom. Kevin, I just emailed you a few minutes ago, the list of roads and addresses that we have down as not served yet. So what I'm gonna do is ask you to look at that and turn that over to your construction group to see if maybe our numbers are wrong, to see if maybe some of those are served. And what we can do to get the rest of those served if, you know, if there's other, you know, get estimates on them getting done. Annabelle has been really great, and same with John, about finding out where other funds are coming from. Federal grants, state grants, county grants. I know our president just signed in a big infrastructure agreement. A lot of that to do with it, internet, or some of it to do with internet, so by the time we see that money, we down the road, but there's money out there for expansion, so which we've seen, a lot of our expansion we've already done so far from day one has come from the government, which we're thankful for. So I really got nothing other than the two ones we have in agreement right now with Alexander Suits Road. Like I said, the rest of them we did get an estimate for the Dwayne Churches Road. It was quite expensive. So I'm hoping maybe we can go back and look at that with Spectrum. Maybe make a package deal with some of these other roads that we need to get done.
So here's my question. Why are we nickel and diming? We have 58 unserved. Alexander has 15. Suits has 6. Duanesburg Churches has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So with an agreement with Alexander and Suits, that leaves 37 remaining. Let's get them all served at the same time. Get an estimate and get it done.
Yeah, Kevin, this is John Ganther. From what we've been able to garner so far regarding the infrastructure bill that has been signed, we're hearing that yeah, I'll go far, that $100 million was getting awarded to New York State for broadband. Now, I don't, here's gonna here's what our concern is gonna be right off the rip is, okay, if that 100 million comes to New York, where does it go? Does it go to the broadband office? Is it gonna end up with the providers? Is it gonna go to communities? The big fear here, of course, is that it gets handled the same way that other federal grant money has been handled, which is they rely on census blocks. And as you know, if they rely on census blocks, Dwaynesburg gets shut out. We get zero because it's a terribly unfair way to award that grant money. So my question is whether or not you know anything more than that as far as the amount of money, how it will be distributed, and what we might be able to do to make sure that some of that money gets to Dwaynesburg so we can complete these projects. Yeah.
Kevin, you still there?
You think I would have figured out how to shut that off. Anyways, thank you, John. And thank you, Annabelle, and thank you, Roger, for having me here this evening. You know, I don't know anything more than you do regarding the funds. You know, certainly our focus has been on unserved, and we've been working with a lot of communities in terms of trying to identify, you know, the costs associated with these remaining areas. I received your email, Roger. So with that, I assume, Annabelle, you've looked at it, and you agree that these are the remaining addresses for the town. I can go ahead and get surveys done for those areas, get estimates. Won't take, maybe with the holidays, it may take a little bit longer, but I would look to have estimates in hand probably within 3 weeks. As long as the weather holds up and we can get our folks out there to get a look at it. So give us an idea of overall what remains. Again, we're open to discussions on how to fund some of these projects. Certainly the government has recognized that, you know, during the pandemic, I think we've all come to realize how important, even more so, how important broadband is to folks in their everyday lives. And we're committed to, you know, working with communities to bridge that gap. Certainly the funding that's been allocated is a representation or a recognition of that issue as well. So I don't, again, just circling back on your opening statement regarding what I know, I don't know anything more than you do at this point, but I think the first place to start is let's find out the costs and what those challenges are for these areas, and go from there.
Yeah, thank you. That's right. I mean, we would love to package up these 30 some odd homes that Annabelle and Roger described, and you know, if we put together a package, we still have some of that county money. We have hopefully some of that infrastructure money coming. And then whatever money we might have left from franchise fees, if it's not all applied yet, you know, if you can give us a number on the whole thing, and we put together our dollars here, we're hoping we can have one big push and put the whole thing to bed. So,
Yep. So Charter clearly has, I don't think it's been audited yet, but Charter claims to have completed the 145,000 passings required in the merger agreement. There is still $6 million, which is starting to be allocated by the Public Service Commission. So to the extent that these 37 homes or locations in Dwaynesburg can be included in that $6 million in escrow, maybe Charter can look into that as well. And then start whittling away at other funding. I assume, I don't know if you probably can't share, I assume that the $100 million coming from the federal program will go to the Broadband Program Office and the Public Service Commission, and that they will determine where those funds go. So to the extent that charter can push to have these 37 remaining locations included in those, in that 100 million from the feds, that would be great. I think that's the first place to go. But again, the town has supplemental funding, as you know. And we're certainly willing to spend it.
Yeah, we need to, we talked about this last week, we need to reach out to Representative Tonko's office as well, because he's fully aware.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that anytime.
Yeah, he's fully aware of how that census block apportionment is terribly unfair.
Well, that is changing now because we have a new, tentatively a new FCC commissioner, and they are now working on the mapping issue. So there is no longer a question.
Well, whether or not that gets resolved before the money gets dispersed.
Well, I'm hoping it doesn't get resolved before we get everybody served in Dwayne's.
Yeah. Chickens and eggs, yeah. I mean, that's the main thrust of it as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, it was more a main conversation we wanted to have. Kevin tonight is just about getting a package deal together.
Yeah.
We have a resume here. I'll keep him here all night. Mr. Bulkey, from Thousand Acre Road. You wanted to say something to the.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I know we're short timers. We've only been in the house for 2 years, as many people have been gone a lot longer than that. But we greatly appreciate the efforts of the committee and the town to get us broadband. It was arduous at the end in terms of people showing up to do installs that they weren't equipped to do, and do installs for coaxial as opposed to fiber, and then they marked our house as non-serviceable. And I think we were one of the last of our group to actually get it, but like I said, we have it, and it's very nice, and especially in this time of the pandemic.
Oh, yes.
And working remotely to be that functional is very nice. So greatly appreciate it.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear all success stories. So sorry it was so difficult in the end, but you're there. that can fade from your memory now because you got broadband. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
This room used to be full when we did these.
Oh, I
meetings.
can imagine.
Oh, they were contentious.
They're angry.
Yeah. Mr. Regan will remember. They got a little contentious out here. So
We really.
Well, you're the town, Annabelle, the committee, you folks have done a commendable job in focusing on the unserved and picking away at it. And it took time. Oftentimes these construction projects do, but it really, I remember when Annabelle sent us her maps showing where things were unserved, and it proved very helpful, at least in terms of our efforts. So again, hats off to you and congratulations on where you are. And there's still more work to be done. We understand that, we recognize that, and continue to look at the unserved and figure out ways to get it done.
Kevin, I always tell people in town when somebody comes to us, say their house ain't wired, and we talk about the global look. I don't know if you know this. What is there something I always think about it? In Spectrum's footprint, we'll say their footprint they have right now. How many homes do you think are unserved in New York State? Like if this in your general area, any idea? Have you heard anything here?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a good handle on that, or be able to provide insight.
Yeah, Roger.
It is when as I think I started in this role about 5 years ago, actually, and I think about the New York State Broadband program, which I believe that did have an impact in Duanesburg as well. Mm-hmm. and our efforts. There's been a lot of progress in the last 5 years. But with that said, again, as I mentioned earlier, there's still more work to be done. And I spend most of my time focused on working with municipalities like yours on addressing unserved areas. And we'll continue to do so.
Awesome. While you're saying that, I know, I'm leaving at my office, my term runs at the end of the year. In the middle here is Bill Wenzel. I don't know if you haven't met him yet, in person.
Not yet. We have not met
Bill's gonna be-
face to face yet.
Yeah, Bill's gonna be our new supervisor. So one day you
And
guys
what,
go for coffee and he can beat you up a little bit.
well, I'll certainly come out and have coffee if that's okay with you, and spend some time. Maybe when we get some of these estimates done, I can come out and sit down with you and talk to them. How's that?
I would enjoy that, and I'll say this, I live in one of the unserved spots. And if somebody wants to see me do cartwheels, they will when the day comes that I can get rid of that hot spot.
Okay.
I'm happy to have an advocate on the team.
Very good.
Are there no other projects really pending at this point in town though? I mean, we've got Suits in Alexander, we have that one quote from Dwaynesburg Churches. Is there anything else going on or potentially going on, or that's really it at this point?
That's the only ones we've been talking about. And then we said, we'll get these ones done, let's go to the next one. That's the only one we talked about for getting estimates.
Mhm.
Okay.
May I suggest that you look at the 3 unserved on Western Turnpike, because they're my next poster children. The folks who can see the Capitol and get a great view of the 4th of July fireworks, but do not have service from Spectrum.
This is the far end.
That is the eastern part of the town of Jonesburg. Yep, beautiful views of the city. I don't think you can call them last mile.
I don't know if we haven't looked at them before previously.
Oh, many times. Come on, Kevin. We've looked at every house in the town of Jonesburg. It's on the list.
Okay, very good.
1184 to 1295 Western Turnpike.
Okay, I see that now. On the list. Very good.
We're on the Princetown border. So-
Okay.
And I know there's a lot of construction. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. There's a lot of construction right there on that border. I don't know if you ever traveled up Route 20. Remember where the old chicken farm was? The big-
Yes. Mhm.
So I think that, I can throw names up, I think the Amador Group bought that property and they're looking to do some major subdivisions in there.
Okay.
The town line passes right through there. So if you go down there through there now, you'll see a lot of activity. So hopefully something's going on with Spectrum to wire those homes. They can also grab these homes right at the end because they're right there on the other side of that project.
Okay, I appreciate that, especially with development, just making sure our construction department is aware and if there's anything that can be considered as
And
part
maybe
of that.
project, the Amador's involved. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
We also have a librarian I spoke to who lives on Bozenkill Road. There are 2 homes on Bozenkill that runs off Schoharie Turnpike. So you missed them when you did the Schoharie Turnpike projects. Bozenkill Road, 504 and 592.
okay.
But again, it's 37 homes after Alexander and Suits get served. So let's just get them all done.
Wouldn't it be nice to get us off your desk, Kevin? Come on.
I tell you what, it's good news when these projects do get done, and I know a lot of work goes into it, and so again, appreciate working with you.
Yeah.
As we try and figure it out. Again, some of the challenges we talk about, some of the challenges that we do face in terms of some of these build outs, but I certainly want to, if anything in particular in any of these that we can talk to, and maybe there's ways to mitigate them somehow, working with the town, we'll bring that to your attention.
Absolutely.
Great.
You got anything else for Kevin?
Annabelle, question. When will we know when we can get the cable into the house? How, are they gonna knock on our door? I mean, are they gonna send us a letter and say you're eligible now, or well, from Alexander Road?
That's a very good question.
Usually what they do is as they're doing the project, as they're running the wire, they set, Kevin will probably back this up, is they send a representative out, usually knocking on the door, and they give, I've heard of other residents getting letters. Mr. Bulkey could probably answer that
Well,
question.
I can answer that question. In my experience, the person who complained and wanted service is the last to get a visit from someone on the road.
Confirmed.
I was on vacation when I got news from neighbors that Charter Spectrum was starting to
They knew you were leaving.
create appointments for hookup.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make sure that people talk to one another. That's the best way you're gonna find out. Mr. Egan, is there a normal course of how that happens?
Yeah, typically once the once the construction is complete and everything is tested and validated, then the addresses, there's some administrative items that have to take place in terms of making sure addresses are built properly in our system before things can progress to scheduling installs and moving forward. And usually that's turned over to our marketing team, whether that's direct sales or folks calling and reaching out. I know it's been handled two different approaches. Certainly it's usually turned over to our marketing folks for when it's done, because a lot of times you'll see the lines get completed, but there is some work that has to take place from an administrative perspective. So there's a little bit of a lag afterwards in terms of testing the network and then also getting everything built in our system. So then we can take the orders, get your account built properly in our system.
So is there a reason why some salespeople would come out and be provided specific addresses and be told not to go to addresses that they had not been given? Because that was my experience. There were two salespeople on Creek Road. When I contacted them, one of them, he said, "How did you get my number?" He said, "You're not on my list, so I can't help you." Okay, let me call Spectrum. So I'm not sure what your sales department does, but.
No, me neither. That does interest me in terms of understanding. I don't know if they, having a little bit of a sales background, sometimes, sales, you have multiple salespeople and you divide up the customers. I don't know if that was what took place here and he didn't have you as a customer in his list. It's possible. I don't know. I know from our perspective, the one thing we want to do is once everything's built, we certainly want to get customers up and active as quickly as we can.
Well, I will say that we have quite a setback, and that once we made the appointment, Spectrum came out and they had installation complete within 3 days to my home. So we were very happy with the installation. Some other folks didn't have as smooth a process, but I will say that our process was very smooth and that all of the technicians who came out were professional and competent. So thank you.
I appreciate that. And I will say this, as you mentioned, sometimes things don't go as planned. But when things are escalated to the committee or the town board, certainly bring those to my attention so we can see where maybe they fell off track and right the ship.
Okay. To come back around to that original question, are you able to give some guesstimate as to when the Alexander Road and Suits Road projects could be complete? Because the other folks on the Zoom with us tonight are Alexander Road residents, and they've been waiting for a very long time to get service.
You know, I don't really have a good estimate at this time in terms of how long it'll take. And you know, just again, I don't want to misrepresent. I mean, sometimes these projects can take a very long time if pole permits are involved. You know, working with the pole owners to get make ready work done, what we call make ready work, so that we can attach to the poles. You know, it goes through a process, and sometimes that is what takes the majority of the time.
Did the governor ever sign that law requiring pole attachments by franchise rather than by location or road? Do you know the one I'm talking about, Kevin?
No,
It was on Hochul's desk recently, but I don't know if it got signed.
I know there was a poll, some legislation related to poll, this issue, so to
That's
speak.
correct.
But I don't know where it stands now. But I will say, so what we do need to resolve is definitely the contract. I have that with our legal folks reviewing. So as soon as I can get that, I'll get that over to you as quickly as I can so you can review it, and in response to the feedback that was shared by your attorney.
Okay.
How about a project, will a project number be assigned to Alexander and Suits, or how does that work?
They are in our systems. They're actually they're two separate projects, if you will. You know, so there would be separate items, but once they move to once it gets the go ahead and the approval to move forward, our construction team will move very quickly to get things lined up, and coordinator will be assigned to it. You can.
Yeah, they asked for is a project.
I'm sorry.
That's what they asked for when you call the construction number. They do ask for a project number.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Do you have?
I'll be able to provide updates once it gets approved, as far as where it'll be at. I think I know what project numbers you're referring to, because there's one for there's two project IDs, so I'm familiar with them. Thank you.
Are you saying there are two project IDs for Alexander Road?
No, one for Alexander and one for Suits.
Okay.
Gotcha, thank you.
I know that your time is short, but I did also wonder, do you happen to know why the offer in the contract is symmetrical speed, 100 down, 100 up, Kevin?
Actually, it's
Not
that
explaining.
actually that's Annabelle, that's actually one of the red lines that were made by the town attorney. So that's not something that we would most likely agree to, but that's with our attorneys.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what a red line means.
So we provided a draft document.
Yes,
And the attorney for the town went through and made changes and recommendations. She proposed items, one being, I believe, that speed modification.
I believe that speed came from Spectrum.
I'll have to go back and look.
Okay.
If it was, then it was possibly a typo.
Okay, understood. It caught my eye.
Yeah,
as
so that's
you
you-
might understand. So,
Actually, attorney, and I had a phone call with the town attorney the other day, and she made a point of saying that, hey, I just looked at that contract, and yeah, it does say 100 in there. So she acted as if she was surprised to actually confirm that it is in there that way. So
right.
it wasn't our attorney that added it, so.
Okay, I wasn't sure, because when I looked at it, and sometimes these documents have, let's say someone else may have made a red line change to it, or made a modification to the document. So I'll look at that though and clarify what it.
I'm sorry I caught that, let's leave it in there. But I don't know if the systems can actually do that yet, but.
Yeah, the 100 up.
Yep. Speed.
I will say that, from our, we we continue to invest in our network infrastructure, and there are plans to do different speeds in terms of increasing uploads.
Clearly, you need to compete with Verizon Fios because, you know, we all know that the upload speeds are an issue. Symmetrical is the thing of the future, and I certainly hope that Spectrum is working on that, so.
Oh, we definitely are. I mean, we still see, I mean, predominantly traffic from residential customers is still predominantly download. But with that said, you know, as a service provider, we continue and we have, you know, kept pace with our customers in terms of the use and the way they go about utilizing our services. So that's something that, as I mentioned, we're taking steps for changes in the future.
Well, yeah, I will say that, you know, I had 3 people at home working through a pandemic on cellular routers. And so I can tell you from personal experience that an upload speed under 3 megabytes per second does not allow you to run on a VPN.
Okay, yeah.
Especially when you're working on things like Excel, anything that's mouse driven. So it's important. We need those upload speeds, and it's only going to get worse as things move forward. So I'm happy that now I can work from home, although I wish it had been during the pandemic. So let's make sure the next folks, we got 58 left. Let's
58 left.
for the
58
next
left.
pandemic, okay?
Seems fair. It can be right around the corner.
Yeah, we need to get it done before they're sent home to work again, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to get rid of our
Usenet.
Usenet. I mean, come
It's
on.
so bad.
It's so bad it isn't funny. I'm surprised you still have a connect.
Well,
The wind.
the town's given me the addresses to look at for these other sites, other areas, and I'll go through and take a look at them before I submit to my the field team, as I mentioned, probably getting back to you within 3 weeks. So, so the town, so I'll look forward to trying scheduling a cup of coffee with you, Supervisor. Very soon.
Repeat, the name is Bill Wenzel.
Bill. Yes, Bill.
Unserved.
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 You called me unserved.
Yes,
Just remember UB.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the perfect person to elect.
Unserved, Bill.
Good one, Bill.
Is there anything else?
No, thank you for your good humor, Kevin, always.
No, thank you. Thank you for your patience,
Yes, thank
and appreciate the opportunity to work with you as always. And happy Thanksgiving to you all.
You too, Kevin.
Same
Same to you.
See you later. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Is everybody set?
We're good?
We're good. I got his phone number.
You have your phone number. And we'll see you all soon.
All righty, sounds good. Yes, look forward to it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It was ironic that I knew that this line was live when my neighbors across the street were actually getting installed, and they were, of all the people I knew, they were the only people that didn't want it. And they had called my friend's wife, and as he put it, made her an offer she couldn't refuse. So, and it was almost knowing the things I knew that made us either, I don't want to call it aggressive, but advancing was a detriment to us. Because we thought with what we knew through here, and I was talking to guys that were driving their trucks and had the project going, so that when I called, and this is a problem with the people that you call who have no idea what they're talking about, they're like, oh, we'll set you right up.
Yeah.
And then when they come out and you can't do it.
Yeah.
So I think that put us behind the 8 ball in terms of the smoothness in the end.
So Janet, Frank, I think the advice is pretend you know less.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't hurry.
That's what I'm,
You're on the list.
it's strange. It's so strange, we get these cards in the mail from Spectrum. And they tell us to call. I'm like, we're not service. Why are you sending us these little cards?
Infuriating, isn't it? It's absolutely
Yeah,
infuriating.
it's almost like they're just rubbing your face in it at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then you sometimes get a phone call and I say, we're not serving, and you get clicked.
Oops.
And so be aware that there's another, I don't know that you know Diana Woodward. She has two last names. She was the one who was here at the last town board meeting. She's also on Alexander Road. So there's another neighbor of yours so wave, wave to your neighbors, talk to them. And
Which number is she? Is she in the 900s or what?
look her up. Diana Woodward. She's also Canestraro.
Doesn't ring the bell.
She is 982
I just,
982
Nine. Yes, I know where that is because I walk up that way with my dog. Yes.
So she has also been a poster child, and she, Paul Tonko had her, she's a teacher, and so Paul Tonko had featured her among other Dwaynesburg and Delanson residents in a letter to the FCC.
Oh, great.
So she has gotten a lot of attention to Alexander Road. So when we talked to Kevin Eakin about talking to Paul Tonko, he understands that that puts pressure on Spectrum. We will continue to do that.
Yeah, their house is so far back, Annabelle, from the road. Their house is so far back. I'm talking maybe, how many yards, Ralph? All the way in the back they are. I would probably never see them unless they come out the driveway and I wave to them.
I met her one time, and when I was walking the dog, and she's a very nice woman. And we just met
The berries.
The berries
On 1070?
on 1070.
Right.
Okay.
We're so scattered here. It's hard to meet neighbors.
Yep.
With houses 600-700 feet behind you and this and that.
Yeah, but isn't that
But we've met.
that's the reason we move here, right? So you also have neighbors, the Lukides, who are on an even longer road.
Okay.
You're talking my name there. This is Christina Lukides. Hi, everybody. I am your neighbors to Ralph and Jen. We have met on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, we had.
Yes, you're on the corner of where our property ends. You just built on the corner of where our
Right.
property ends and then the next driveway over. And if I may, I would like to thank both Annabelle and the town for all the work that you're doing on this. It certainly is vital for the community.
Absolutely.
And truly a lifesaver for so many people in so many ways, in terms of work, in terms of telemedicine, in terms of so many other things that people need in order to get on with their lives. So it's so much appreciated, all the time and effort you're putting into this. And I commend you all for getting so much of this done already. And just having left with 58 homes left, I mean, that's quite impressive. So thank you very much for all of that. As far as Alexander Road is concerned, the big frustration is that I can stand at the end of my driveway and look to my right in the direction of the school. They're all served. They all
Yes.
They are.
And then we can walk to all the other end of Alexander Road, the mile and a half up, they're served. And we seem
Yes,
to be in this dead zone from one end of Alexander to the other, where there is no
The
service.
digital.
Hey, guys, do you have 20 homes per mile yet?
Yeah.
Have you,
Has
I'm
any-
sorry?
say that again?
If you have 20 homes per mile on Alexander Road at this point, we can file a complaint with the Public Service Commission. But I think we looked at that recently and you're somewhere at 11 homes per mile, so.
Yes, yeah, we're not there. We're not there. Yeah.
Why is it
We
so
don't-
many?
We don't want to get there either.
No, you don't. It's public, it's regulatory law. It's boring. Boring. regulatory law.
Are all the remaining,
But isn't,
God.
if I may, didn't Dwaynesburg, and maybe it's no longer, because I don't know the status of anything, but wasn't there a time, given the, the semi-rural nature of Dwaynesburg, wasn't there a time where that was changed from 20 houses per mile to a lesser number, just given the
No.
reality of living in an area like this? Am I remembering that incorrectly?
No, you're close. So the state regulation actually says that an area 35 homes per mile
Okay.
or must be served in a franchise. These guys, Roger, John, were instrumental. No, actually, maybe it was your predecessor. The town of Dwaynesburg did negotiate it down to 20 homes per mile instead of
Okay,
5. So am I
gotcha.
right about that?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, the franchise agreement that was agreed to before,
Right.
the ones we agreed to, that's when they set the precedent to get that lowered from 35 to 20, but it has never been lower than 20. During the franchise agreement negotiations we had that seemed to go on forever a few years ago, we worked really hard to try to get knocked back lower to 20. I mean, we tried real hard and there was just no way they were gonna do that,
Right.
so.
So your recollection was correct, Chris, but our success in getting it lower than 20 was not.
That was not.
successful.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, understood. Thank you.
Yep. You wanted to add, Chet?
yeah, question. So of the remaining projects left, are they all destined to be fiber? Because obviously fiber can go further off the road and obviously gives you a higher end of service.
I don't know the answer to that, but I suspect the answer is in some locations, no.
Okay.
For instance, what I was mentioning, the Bozenkill Road section, I don't really know for a fact whether Schoharie Turnpike got coax or fiber.
That might be a good question for Kevin.
It's probably case by case basis. It's all a matter of
depends
what
on
they're gonna hook up
what's
to,
there.
what's closest to that site, you know?
And are they gonna upgrade?
Well, that's what I thought.
As they
In my
go.
mind, when I heard it was fiber, I'm like, okay, at this point, why would you put in a technology that is now aged legacy?
Right.
And now, from now on, anything they put in would be that, obviously, it has to
Yes.
come from someplace.
That much less to have to replace
Yeah,
later
so-
type of thing, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
thanks
good
for,
question, though.
yeah, thanks for reminding me that the struggle to get Bozenkill Road might be greater than I than I expect when I say, come on, just get all add the other 37. That could be an issue
Yeah.
because it might mean upgrading the whole line from, however many miles.
And fiber is so much more expensive than standard coax, so, it geometrically increases the cost of these projects if it's fiber. I mean, you want fiber, of course, but if they've got to string it for a mile and a half, that cost adds up quick,
But what I want to remind everyone is that Dwaynesburg didn't get this done because we financed it. Dwaynesburg got this done because there is a political will to get it done. And we mapped our town and were able to go to the politicians and say, here are the places that don't have it. If you show them the problem in black and white, they can't ignore it. So,
Yes, I think thanks to you, very much so.
you're welcome. It's been a long road.
Yeah, many thanks to you and to Mary Ellen. I mean, you two,
Yeah,
just
Mary Ellen's
That's very-
yeoman's work and making sure that got done. That was
37 more, guys, come on.
huge.
It's coming.
We're that close, but so far away.
Oh, so-
No, it's coming.
You run into
I
other people who are like Bill Wenzel or, we need people to come and show up at meetings and start yelling that they want broadband too, because there may be 37 houses here, But believe me, if I bring Kevin Egan into the, Roger invites Kevin Egan and nobody shows up,
Yeah.
then it's gonna be hard to say these 37 need service.
This is classic.
Just let us know if you want us, we'll be there.
So it's fine, talk to neighbors, and if you know people in Dwaynesburg who don't have service, tell them to get involved,
Okay.
or they might be left behind. Threaten them.
Yeah, that's why I said to Kevin, wouldn't it be nice to get us off his desk, because we've been the ones that are continually, always knocking on his door, hey, how about us, hey, how about us, how about us? And we've done this for years now,
Yes.
and that's how you gotta do it, it's the only way you get there.
Yep. Do we want to set another meeting?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So Kevin says he will be back to you guys by the 15th of December with a estimate for the rest of the town. You need,
Yeah, our next board meeting
do
is,
you want my notes on this, Bill?
our next regular board meeting is December 9th, I believe, so that's when we should hopefully have the
Let's do it.
negotiation between the attorneys completed, so that the board can approve the project for Suits and Alexander, so that's 2.5 weeks, hopefully within 2.5 weeks, the attorneys can agree upon that wording, so. And then, yeah, and then a week after is when Kevin committed to have an update.
Okay. Are we going into January?
We are,
Are we looking,
Probably.
is it Tuesdays that this place is that vacant?
Yeah, Tuesdays, so for a nice appointment or a zoning.
The zoning board is, I believe, the third.
it is
Usually,
So we should do the second Tuesday?
probably so.
I can do
We
the
can
second
do the
Tuesday.
second Tuesdays, yes, we can do
That should
that.
be the 11th, right?
It would be
It
the
is the
11th.
11th of January.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it would be good to do that, because in between, hopefully, we've got Kevin giving us information on the projects, and hopefully we've got maybe we'll have project numbers for Alexander and Suits by then,
That would be nice.
so yeah, so let's definitely get together in January.
Okay, January 11th at 6:30. Here in-
Gotcha.
and by Zoom. Are we gonna keep doing that, Joe? Works pretty well,
Yeah, I
though.
don't see why not, yeah. Especially in the winter.
I'm happy about it. Okay. I think we're set. Bill, I think that I should give you, I will add those two, and that brings us back up to 60, which is why my numbers were not agreeing with Mary Ellen's. That's just a printout of what I emailed.
Okay, let me just illustrate this to them.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for
Oh,
coming
thank
out.
you
and
for
to say
chat.
Thank you, we really do appreciate that.
I hope I see you soon.
Yes, definitely.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy retirement, Mr. Tidball, right? He's retiring, right?
Retiring from this job, no,
Happy,
totally.
what?
I'm only retiring as town
Oh,
supervisor,
well,
retiring in general.
okay, well,
I'll be around.
enjoy.
I'll be going-
Okay, we might see you around then, you say.
Well,
Nah, he's moving away on us.
I'm moving south.
Leaving the good old New York State, huh?
Yep, goodbye.
He's joining the
Good
parade.
for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for every effort that you're making.
Yeah, we
And
appreciate all
remember,
the
we are
effort.
on your side.
It's
We are, yes.
been a big teamwork effort right from the beginning, so,
We will get you served.
yeah, so.
Happy holidays. Have a
Yeah.
giving warm wishes for the new year. So we'll see you next year.
Okay, happy holidays to you too. Hey, Chris,
All right, thank
happy
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
holidays.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
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 Okay.
Is it on?
No.
No.
No, everyone like his office number and then it's 640, we were good with it, so it's-
I thought it was you. And then you put out, don't you?